Hi, I am Mignon Hooper, and I could not be more thrilled than to have you here and join us right here on our new podcast. It is Authentically Mega, and Authentically Mega is meant to help people get into an experience of getting to know like how it is that other people are doing the best life that they're having. So, what are their challenges? What have they overcome? All those great and amazing things. I could not be more thrilled than to have the opportunity to spend some time with you. We're going to have some fun conversations. We're going to have some sad conversations. You know, life happens to all of us. And one of the things I wanted to do in this podcast was to give a space for people that have created a mega life. And mega, of course, is their definition of mega, not my definition of mega, not yours. It is about their definition of mega. And I truly believe that we have all got an experience here, and we're all supposed to be here on this planet to provide a value to others and to give back. So without further ado, what I'd like to do is just say, hey, I'm still adjusting things, figuring out what looks well. And I know we're going to get plenty of comments. One of these days, I'll go over all of these things, my really good friends, you know what the golden cricket is all about. And I could not be thrilled, any more thrilled than to just continue to have this conversation and discuss, life with you. Because, I mean, sometimes whenever I'm speaking with my coaching clients, they'll ask me all sorts of questions. And I'm really excited that in just a few minutes, we're going to be meeting with Ellie McIntire. Ellie McIntire is my good friend from Maryland, and I met her in the Pivot Shift Ahead community. And she has been a fire and an inspiration under my feet. And I am just really thrilled that I get a chance to get to know her. Authentically Mega. All right, you ready? Here we go.
Hello,
Hello, my friend.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Welcome to my new podcast.
I love it. How cool are you?
No, I'm not as cool as you. So I'm thrilled because my intention behind this is that we've got all of these amazing humans that are part of this Pivot Shift Ahead community that have become my brothers and sisters in life to me.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's got such a beautiful story, and we're all megas in our own light. And I can't wait for everybody to get to know more about you, and ultimately to be able to be a conduit so we can get more referrals. So my intention behind this is so that we can, we'll create the podcast, we'll do all the links, we'll do all the video, share it with you, and then we'll post it and broadcast it, and then share it directly with you as well. So you can help tell your story around your community. And the intent is to build a big business of referrals across the world.
There you go. I love it. Think big.
Yes. Yes. All right. So Ellie,
yes,
I'm just going to ask you some questions. I want why real estate? Where in the world? Okay. First of all, a little bit about your journey. You're not from the States. We can tell by your accent. So yes.
That's so funny.
You've got a heck of a story. What brought you here?
Oh gosh. So I was in theater school in early 80s, and I knew that wasn't my journey. It kind of went back to prior to that. I said I was never going to learn how to type because I didn't want to be pigeonholed as a secretary. So it's like, okay, what do you do? I'm an average student. I'm very much my child in many ways, but he's got a personality to go with it. But I'm average student. Okay, I'll sign up for pre-nursing. And you know me well. I know, see? You know me well enough. How long do you think I lasted in pre-nursing?
2 minutes.
It was about 45 minutes.
Are you serious?
100%. I'm like, okay, what do I do now? So I ended up going onto a drama program, so like a drama school. And I loved it. I mean, it was right. You're a little bit younger than I am, but it was when Fame came out. So You had all these people prancing around in leg warmers and leotards. And we thought that we were the greatest thing. And I had so much fun. I moved out of home when I was 17 to go there. And which is the story I told the other day when I did my music on Pivot, is that I got to the house and they'd already given my room away. So I literally slept under the stairs in this weak closet. I could just fit this like bed in there, like a mattressy kind of thing. And I was there for a couple of weeks, and then I got my own room. But
Yeah, I heard you say that, but I didn't know how you ended up under the stairs. That's quite interesting. So you had no room.
No, I lived under the stairs. I was that pre-Harry Potter. We're talking 80s now. At the end of that experience, most people went on to Lambda and RADA and all of these highfalutin drama schools that accredited. And I knew then that was not, I'm not. The problem is there's a couple of things. So I have a photographic memory, and I would literally just read the script in my head. So the actual theater part of it's like me reading it. So and I got all the bad parts, and I was too average to be anything. In theater school, you either have to be like 7'2" or you have to be, 5 foot. Average people don't get much love. I was like, okay, what next? Thursday's child has far to go. Let's go traveling. And at this point, I'd only done Europe and things like that. I'd never been on an airplane till I was 21. January 1st, 1987, I got on an airplane and I flew to the US.
Okay.
So cutting the story down, I found my happy place in Daytona Beach, arrived with $500 in traveler's checks. I got a job in a restaurant, and I would literally work from Bike Week through Labor Day, and then I would travel and come back again, and I'd work the season.
And that's big money right there.
Yeah, it was. Back in the day, even, it was a lot. So I had a blast. I mean, I literally, planes, trains, and automobiles. I did every kind of travel you could possibly imagine, by boat, by train, by plane. And so I did auto driveaways across the US. I covered most of the US. I just had an amazing time. And then moved to Maryland in 97. And it's like, okay, now I got to get serious. And that's actually funny because I started working with Outback Steakhouse. And just last night, I ran into somebody that I probably haven't seen for 20 plus years, but we all worked Outback together. It was the owner of the restaurant and this lady who's still a friend of hers. And she says something funny. She said, she goes, so where are you from in Australia? And I'm like, I hate to tell you the truth here, but I said I was Australian so I could get the job at Outback. I'm not actually Australian. I'm English. To this day, people think I'm Australian from that part of my world. In 2002, the manager at the time was awful. The proprietor. I was one of the management, and I said something like, fine, I quit. And he goes, fine, I accept. And I'm like, well, here we go. And the rest is kind of history.
Okay.
So
what drew you to real estate though? Like, because I mean, that's what you're doing now.
It's funny because I didn't own a house at the time. 2002, it was, we were still using like fish files and stuff to get on. We didn't have the MLS. We didn't have all these great things. And it was either I was going to be a travel agent or a real estate agent. And thankfully I picked the right one, because travel agents aren't as, I probably would have gone a lot more further places, but I've pretty much seen the world already. So I went into real estate. I would have loved to be an architect, but I'm not creative enough for that. But it just was a great fit for me.
Nice. So what was a turning point in your career? Like when you said, all right, this is it. I'm in real estate full time. Was there, like, what was your start like, and what was the turning point for you?
So interestingly, when I first got in, and I knew I was going to transition away from the restaurant, I was doing a kind of, dual career.
Yeah.
And everything I've always done, I do at 100 and, fast to start with. But so when I don't think I'm working very hard, I think most people still get their head spinning about what's going on. So I was introduced to Brian Buffini, and I know on November 4th. So I got my license in July, hadn't sold anything November 4th. And the whole philosophy behind Brian Buffini of loving on a database was that was my language. And to back up from that, now as I sit where I am now, okay, so I have this is a prop. So I don't know if I can't explain what you call it here, but it's like a thing, and you have like loops in here, and
the daytimer type.
The daytimer, that's
it's original daytimes.
We called it a Filofax. So this was what I called life. So anyway, so this was what I used to travel with. Like I told you, I traveled all those years.
Yeah.
And I pulled it out not so long ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I have been doing. So I have here, this had everything in it, including my Christmas card list, 1990. Everybody I sent a Christmas card to. Christmas card list, 1991. I have a whole list of all the postcards I ever sent out. My Christmas card list, 94, 95, 96, 97, we moved up here. But I have postcard list. I don't know if you can even be able to see this. So, see how everybody gets like a little strike every time I send them a postcard? So
right.
I had, I basically was running a database consistently. I mean, since 1990, it was actually before that, but I have everybody I ever sent a postcard to long before real estate. And then when I started working at the Outback, and they, so in 97, Christmas time came around, and we get bonused on how many gift certificates we sell.
Yes.
This was thousands and thousands of dollars of gift certificates. This is back when you never got a discount. You just paid the full price for the thing. So I had this great idea. I'm like, why don't we do an event where we invite in all of our top customers, come into Outback. They can eat and drink for free. We encourage them to buy gift certificates because it's a corporate-wide contest, because we are acknowledging them because they already come in once to twice a week. They already are going to pay. They're just going to pay up front. And in return, we'll do prizes. We'll give away, what we call tuckaways, like free meals, and we'll give away swag and stuff like that. And, they got to eat and drink for free for 2 hours. And then the next year, we're like, I basically said, well, why don't we add in Toys for Tots? So everybody can bring a toy. We filled the restaurant. We had masses of piles of Toys for Tots, because people are like, they don't necessarily want something for free, so they bought that. It was in the budget because Outback was very philanthropic at the time. And we sold something ridiculous, like $280,000 worth of gift certificates.
In 2 hours?
Well, no, in the pit, they gave you 2 months to sell that, right?
Oh, okay.
But that day, we would probably sell $60,000 worth of gift certificates.
Wow.
The little black book. I was the one that went around to all the customers in the restaurant, and I said, you know what, we want to acknowledge you for the fact that you come in here on a regular basis. We appreciate you. We know you have your favorite server, but we recognize you. We want to invite you to this special event. So the cool part is, to this day, every Outback is required to do this event for their customers.
Wow.
So what loving on a database was that it didn't come with real estate. I've just always done it.
Well, then, of course, no wonder that program, the Buffini program just made just the best sense for you. Of course.
And, the people that, and I've been in real estate for 22 years now, 23, I guess. Jenny and Jeff always up their year. So this will be my 23rd anniversary will be in July. So I'm still in touch with those people that I added to that black book, that when I left. So unceremoniously, after 9 years of working there, I took that with me because it was mine, right?
Right.
So I've sold a bunch of houses from that little black book too. I got into real estate. It's like, this is the whole philosophy. And I was working with a smaller brokerage, not Keller Williams until 11. But the whole philosophy of win, win, win. What's a win? That event was a win because it was a win for the restaurant because we sold a ton of gift certificates. It was a win for the restaurant because we guaranteed that people were going to come in January and February. It was a win for the restaurant because there was a massive bonus check, and every person in the entire restaurant got a portion of this bonus check. And I think the bonus check came in at, you're talking restaurants, like $15,000 to be split up between everybody. So it was and I got a nice chunk of that too, because I had orchestrated all this. It was a win for the customers because they got to feel appreciated, and it was a special event, and it made them want to come back more over and over. And then ultimately, it was a win for Toys for Tots because we had this massive pile of toys. So the whole philosophy of win, win, win started way before I even got into real estate.
Wow. Wow. It sounds like that's truly embedded in you. So is there, was there a point like when somebody gave you some super valuable advice that you're just so glad that you took, or that may have triggered that win-win-win experience for you?
Like I said, Brian Buffini just spoke my language. I mean, also too, the fact that I can relate to this little Irishman that came over here, very humble beginnings, son of a painter who didn't just cut corners, but he did the right thing, son of a humble person that had his entire business was on referrals. And I don't remember anything being as prolific until actually James Shaw came into my life with Pivot, and, in a different way. But it was exactly what I wanted to hear. When you're 2-3 months in, they're like, call expireds, call FISBOs, all of these things. I don't want to do that. And I've never done that. All I've ever done is love on a database.
Awesome. That's awesome. So let's go more into your database, because one of the things that you're most well known for in our community, which we call the Pivot Shift Ahead community, is the blessing baskets and your other events that you do that are really, they're massive community events. They're not overly complicated either.
No, God,
so
keep it simple, stupid. Funny you say that, because yesterday and in February, I do a giveaway. Back during COVID, it was like the thing to do because everybody was at home. And it's my epic bold, right?
Yes.
First time I took bold, and it was like, so do I sit around twiddling my thumbs, hoping people call me because I'm incentivizing them with the potential of a prize? And then when they call, I've got to spend the next 5 minutes writing chicken scratch on their names and numbers, and then I don't have their address in front of me. So the epic gold is, you sign up for me to call you. And I did that yesterday, and some of the conversations were just amazing. A lot of these people now are in my kind of auxiliary database. They're still part of the community. And one of the questions I actually asked was, it was very well pointed out. It says, so most people know that we do sell a lot of real estate in Catonsville. However, we do a lot of community events. Which one's your favorite? And there was only 2 out of the 65 people that I spoke to, my lender spoke to about the same amount. Only 2 or 3 didn't kind of know what events were mine. And they were mostly new. People were like, oh, you do Pride. We love Pride. Oh, blessing baskets. We just love doing blessing baskets. Graduation signs. Oh, we loved it when you did porch portraits. They were even going back to COVID. They've been watching me that long.
Wow.
And most of these events don't cost much money at all for the return. I got to share this one with you. In fact, so this was a text message I got last night. So the whole concept of that is that I have their address in front of me. right? I don't have to chicken scratch it. I've got the RPR up before RPR, if you're doing this to other agents, is that,
Yes.
the evaluation site. So I know what it is. I know when they bought their house and I know what the value is now. So the third question, depending on how long they were been in the house, was, so if you were to move, where would you move to? Oh, I see you've owned your house since 1985. So you've probably, just the conversation flowed because I had information in front of me. But either way, yesterday, I get this text message last night. I'm going to read this to you. I know I'm very unconventional. So I sent, I said, nice, this is my stock, cut and paste. Here's a photo of your ticket. We'll be doing the drawing tomorrow live at 1:30 p.m. on Catonsville Facebook page. The next fun event we're hosting is Shamrocks and Shenanigans, also a zero out of pocket for me. More info to follow. Good luck tomorrow. Please keep us in mind for anyone you know who has real estate needs. Now, I sent that at 10:31. She sends me back a message at 6:30. Speaking of which, I'd like to talk to you about real estate needs for my mother. She has a condominium in Waverly Woods off Marriottsville Road. I'm available to talk tomorrow afternoon.
Nice.
So buying that pizza oven and having those conversations works.
That's
So
beautiful.
that's the
That's
whole
beautiful.
goal of it. It's that the community, the events that we do in the community, they're constant. They're constant. And also, too, in most of our events, we have like a VIP tent or a VIP area, or it's a VIP situation. So I can do a community event, and then I can make my clients feel special at that event as well.
Nice. So I've had the luxury of coming to visit you, and you are the most.
You know where my dogs are.
I do. You're the most amazing and gracious hostess. And I mean, the fact that you picked me up and took me to the airport, to and from the airport, took me to where I could get my ride so I could go to my training, and also offered me an amazing space to stay. You cooked dinner for me, and we also went to a Ravens game. I mean, I really felt like absolute royalty while I was there, and I'm just very grateful for that. So what would be some value advice that you would like to give to people? Like, what would be like, hey, you know what? I wish I had known. Like,
So honestly, I didn't really start doing these big community events until COVID. And I wonder if COVID hadn't happened, would I have got into action like I have? I'm not a very social person, believe it or not. I'm a shy person too. I think we always talk about this, right? We're painfully awkward in certain situations. I only like to do events so I can control the event. I don't like to attend events. I don't like to go when people invite me to the housewarming party. I'd rather, have all my eyebrows plucked out or my eyelashes plucked out one by one with, big weights on my head as well, because that is more painful than anything. To go into a room of people I don't know when I'm not in control of it is worse than giving birth. And, women know what giving birth is like, right? It's so the community part is there is so many assets. And if you have that I personality, this is exactly what you should be doing. And it's difficult for me to do it as much, but I enjoy it when I'm in control of it. So just get involved in your community and have a database, but love on your database. Have a strategy, have a plan in place. I don't know if you've done my class where I do my communication calendar.
I have not.
Okay, so
Somehow or another, I've missed it. So that is definitely on my things to do to get on the schedule.
Yeah, it's I did it in Orthorene's Market Center, I think. It's literally January through December, and it's every type of communication. Every event you ever do is like we have an Easter egg hunt, and I've been doing an Easter egg hunt when I was pregnant with Drew. So we're looking at, in fact, we'd done it for 2 years before that. So I've done the Easter egg hunt for 20 years. It's actually must have been the year before that, because I was pregnant in one of the pictures we took. So the Easter egg hunt, and it's like, you've got to be consistent. People, you've got to have events to get in front of your people. But you've got to do it in, and this is actually what I'm going to talk about on Family Reunion, is it's like, if you have a piece of grass, a piece of dirt, and you want to have a grass like your neighbor has, it takes work. Your neighbor's retired, puts you to shame, cuts his grass and does all this. But if you want the same result as what your peers have, you can't just throw the grass seed down and come back and expect it to be this beautiful, lush grass, right? You have to water it. You have to seed it and feed it and cut it and start that process all over again. You have to take into consideration the seasons. You have to, you've got to love on that grass for it to be the reward that you want. And the reward is ultimately, in the same analogy of a database, if you just think that sending out spammy emails, me, is going to work, it doesn't. It just doesn't. If you just think that one thing, you kind of have to get at them from different angles. And the more angles that you can find to communicate with people is key. So we just did where, in my town, people get a lot more advantage out of some of the events I do because they live here too. But I sell houses pretty much all over the Metro Baltimore area. So we just sent out 54. It's a package of cookie dough, kind of, it's like you make the cookie dough, and a heart shape cookie shaper, and just like, actually I have one around here, a heart that said happy Valentine's Day. And I sent out 54 of those. It cost about $11.50 for each one, with mailing, postage, probably a little more than that with somebody to pay to do that. And so today I probably had some people already said thank you for them, and the other ones that I just texted, and I'm like, hey, hope you enjoyed the cookies. And I've had so many conversations today with people, and a lot of those conversations are, well, of course, I know what your kitchen looks like, so I can imagine you in the kitchen making these. It's staying in touch in different ways, and you have to meet them where they are. And this was 54 families that have kids, but they don't live in Catonsville.
Okay.
Other places.
Okay. That's amazing. And then now you're going to get more business outside of the Catonsville area, which is going to be.
Well, these are all my clients anyway, so I've already sold them a house, but it's just staying in front of them.
Well, now people are going to be talking about it. It's going to be on the kitchen counter. They're going to see that, and that's going to be a conversation. That's amazing.
Sure.
Yeah. So, team, have you thought about building a team?
I had a team, massive team. Back in 04, 05, till I had Drew, in fact, I have the pictures when I was pregnant at the Easter egg. I had like 13 people on my team.
Wow.
We sold close to $60 million back in 04, I think it was, maybe 05. Then 06 came along, and because I was doing all the heavy lifting and feeding, and they couldn't hack it. I mean, I don't know how long
started getting hard,
but 07, lean, and just because I had the good culture that I had, and I've always stayed in touch with my database, because I had it, it was too much work for them. So they all went and did something else. And it was a lot of babysitting too. Also too, at that time with the other brokerage, I really was a bad business decision. I probably made less money with a massive team like that because I didn't know how to run a business. I was giving them too much money. I was covering too much of the expenses, and it really was, just too hard. And I find that that's a very unique person that can run at the same speed as me. And it's not necessarily more profitable. And it's just what you want. I mean, if you don't want to interact with people and you just want to be a trainer and a hirer, That's great. I don't. I don't want to micromanage and babysit somebody. And, you don't have standards if you don't hold the standards that you have. And I'm just a regular people. It's my level of, um, last year I had to focus on Drew to get him through high school. I mean, it was do or die. I stroked a big check for tutoring. And I'm like, son, this was your car. You don't get a car because I had to pay for tutoring, right? It was that bad. He almost failed 11th grade. Just getting him through high school it was tough. Micromanage. He's ADD as well, and COVID kid, and just distracted. Awesome kid. Awesome kid. So I had to take my foot off the pedal of real estate as much to focus on that. And so
to me, it's being purposeful about being a mother. So I mean, that's so important.
Family business, right? So,
yes.
So my low year was probably someone else's really good year, right? So, but my standards are not that. My standards are a lot higher and a lot more, and plus I travel a lot too. Why not? So in 2023, I spent 55 nights on a cruise ship and I attended 13 conferences.
Wow.
So, and my GCI was over 500,000 GCI. So, last year, similar. We were away for 3 weeks one time and summer and whatever. So priorities. That's the long way around to get to, do I want a team? I really don't. I would love to clone myself and have somebody. But I don't have, any desire to change what I'm doing, and then I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's working. It's working. Yeah. And it's all what I see is somebody that's a lot more nimble, able to shift and change directions at any given second. So whether somebody wants to have a big team and it takes a little while to right the ship or to turn it around, or sometimes they just turn the ship and swing it around, and people get whiplash too. So and I've been both. I've been the one that has been slowly turned the boat with a larger team, and I've also been the one who gave whiplash to a larger team. So, and
how many on your team now? How many?
Right now, I've got myself and another agent that are active, and I've got 2 referral partners on the team. One of them is my son. He's in Philadelphia now. And the other one is an agent that is running a nonprofit organization. So he can't focus on real estate, but he is one of my referral partners.
Well, that's like Drew. Drew's taken his class. He passed the class. It's going to be a struggle to get him now when he gets back from, he pulls into Kenya tomorrow, for crying out loud. So when he gets back, he needs to take his. But yeah, Drew is, when he triple fingers crossed goes to college, he will do the same. And he says he wants to come back and take over the business, which by that time, 4 more years, I'll be like, okay, let's go, because he knows the culture. Right. But take someone, and it truly comes down to that Maxwell thing. It's like they want what you have, but they don't want to do what you do.
That's right. And I will say that Drew is going to be one, I believe, that definitely in those 4-year time frame, I see him wanting to do what you do. He is a doer, and the way I see him, he's so humble and he's so kind and thoughtful. So that's the way I see him.
You're very sweet. Yeah. He's also got a great personality as well. And most of he can just slide into my database and everybody will be just fine with him. So yeah, but that's in the future. Let's get him through first.
I understand. So like your daily routines. I am very fortunate to be a part of much of your morning routine. So what does that look like for you?
Okay. So the alarm goes off at 5, and I aspire to be Irene Kashani, whatever she says her last name. And she says she doesn't do snooze, but I do. But I'm usually, the goal is to be out the door by 5:30. I do a call with Dan Tamarkin at 5:45. 6:05, I talk to Lee, and truthfully, that's when we decide what we're doing on early birds. I know Marilyn's got hers months in advance, but it works.
For
right?
me, that's the way I run my coaching as well. Is like, listen, okay, here we go. We're coming
Yeah.
in hot.
Yeah. But we have a structure with early birds now too. We know Tuesday is Chris. It's nice and easy. We know that Thursday is a discussion day. We know that Friday, apart from today, is usually Fast Fire Friday. I think I remember what it was. Fast Fire
The
Friday.
3 question to me is 3 question Friday. So
Yeah, exactly. But Fast Fire, yeah, that.
yeah.
Wednesdays is more role play. And Mondays we have, market at the moment. We'll sometimes have special guests. We'll have conversations. We'll set up the topic for the week. So Lee and I will chat from 6:05 to 6:25. So we'll talk for 20 minutes. Um, and,
And
and
for those that are wondering, this is on Clubhouse, so there's
yes,
no video; it's only audio, and sometimes it's fun to try to figure out how to get your hand to raise up and how to get your mics off, just like on anything else. But
yeah.
it's so Clubhouse. Is there something like it's like, oh, this might be a cool platform, or what made you choose Clubhouse?
God, that's a longer story right there. But
Oh,
you know, it's we've been doing it now for 4 years and we're
mhm.
consistent with it. And I tell you, my biggest COVID gift is the Corys. I can't imagine that. I mean, we banter backwards and forwards. I don't know if you remember, you might want to take this part out, but when Paul hosted for James and he did it on a Friday, and they go, put the hands down, put the hands down. And then I said something at the end. I'm like, fine, I'm not your friend anymore. He goes, mission accomplished. We have like this funny, I mean, we banter and even Drew's part of it too, but they are a massive part of, I don't think I've had that kind of, I mean, it's sort of a business friendship like I have with Lee and Paul. And then there's auxiliary people, the people that come up and it sometimes you have to watch it too, because you kind of know who the talkers are. And, we have a hard stop at 7 and some people, I try not to bring too many people up and whatever, but that is literally goes till from 6:25 till 7:02 or 3 after we've read the comments.
Right.
Then I have another coaching call, accountability call with an agent from Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
And we finished that one at 7:25. I jump on to Pivot. And a lot of the time, I've been showering at night, so I'll just kind of get ready for the day. And it depends on the topic, but I listen to Pivot from 7:30. So much fun doing the music this week. I had a blast.
Ah, yes.
I'm ready to give my next $100 in. So 7:30 till 8:20. And then at 8:20, like sometimes I'll call, somebody that was relevant, like Julie Hess or whatever, or Pat, or somebody that I would say is in the inner circle, but not the Lee and Paul one. Or sometimes I call Lee and Paul back, but something about the topic. 8:40 is my Zoom call with my VA. So we're on that one till 9 o'clock, and I'll let him go. He's great. He just seems really laid back, but he's good. And then 9 a.m., I'll jump on the Power Hour with my iPad right here, and I'm working on my laptop. Power Hour goes until 11:30. It's structure.
Mm-hmm.
11:30. I do work from home, so when I'm on the phone, if I don't get up and walk around, which you know what house looks like, right? My kitchen to my family room and back again.
Yes, she
So
does. I've
yeah,
watched it.
I do. Right. So I'll walk around. I'll do my calls, mostly DTD2, but then if I've got an event or if I'm doing something, just different things. And that's till 11:30, and then 11:30 till 11:50 is usually book club. And then at noon, Tuesdays is Inspire, Mondays is Glover's listing mastery. Wednesday, James usually does some kind of also a video or something. And then if I don't have an appointment, I get back to lead generation again. And generally, I don't have anybody at home now. It's like, I send text messages on a Sunday. I'm like, this is what an empty nester does, looks at real estate, right? So most people know I'm very transparent. I'm not, I believe that, we're so into their lives we know everything about them, right? I mean, their financials, what kind of house they want, so why shouldn't they know what kind of house we have, how we live, our family? So I'm a big believer that you can't, if you want to be a private person, then real estate's not really the right place for you. That's my opinion. So I'm very, everybody knows the name of the child. They, didn't quite tell anybody when I got divorced for quite a while, but that's okay. They figured it out anyway. But yeah. So and that's the rest of my day. But I generally working in my business for an hour or so in the afternoon, making sure that the VA is on track, and then some weekends. But then when I go away, I work too. So, which is my happy place. I have no qualms about being on a cruise ship and putting a couple of hours of work in.
Very nice. All right. So I have got like a ton more questions because I know you at a different level. So I know that what I'd like to do is like maybe I'd like to have you come back at another time so we can like dig in further, maybe do something in person. So I do want to ask you this. So one of the questions I like to ask people that I trust, admire, and like is I'm sure you ask lots of self-serving questions like people. And if you could choose, what's one question you wish more people would ask you or that is rarely asked that truly reveals who you are and that drives your success?
I don't have an answer for that. I seriously don't. That's a difficult question. I don't know. What you answer that question? What would you say?
So because I asked this question, people ask me that. So and it's meant to like cause pause for you to like really think. And
You know who I am, right? I'm a high D. It's
I know
like
who
I
you are.
shoot from the hip.
Right. Well, and what's a question that you wish people would ask or they wouldn't ask? How about that?
I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I'm not that deep. I'm really not. You know, if I have no filter, if I have a question, I ask it, and if I want to tell
And if you want
something,
somebody to ask you a question, you'll tell them that they need to ask you the
yeah.
question.
I mean, I don't. That's a really deep question. I just don't have a
Well, if
response.
you think of it, text me in the middle of the night. So I'll add it to my list of things. So, all right. So what would you like to leave now? Like, what's a piece of advice that you would like to leave our audience with? Because my intention, like was told you before, is like my intention is to bring awareness to my business friends and my pivot family and whatnot, and but even beyond that, I really want to bring awareness to additional people that really are doing some great things in this world. So, what would be some words of advice that you'd like to leave everybody with?
It's not new. It's literally, find your people. The people that are going to trust you with their biggest purchase ever. Those are your people, right? That's a massive. When I first got in the business, I can remember sitting back and going, God, they've trusted me to find them a house. That's not like, going into a clothing store and somebody saying, "Oh, that looks great on you." It's mammoth that the fact that we help people and we're their advocates for it in getting the most out of their business and believing that you are the best person for you and having that as an experience that's positive. And there is nothing more rewarding than when you get sent a referral, because back to Brian Buffini's dad and the painting industry, right? They enjoyed the experience with you so much that they emphatically referred other people to you. And that is the biggest compliment ever. And you only get that if you pour into them. Give, ask, give, ask, receive, and then go kill your dog.
No, not yet. So I know that, I mean, here's the thing is I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Ellie. I cannot wait to see you and give you a hug next week.
Oh, you are going to go to family? You are going to family reunion?
Yeah, I have been a panelist many times in family reunion, and it is amazing and it's fun to go enjoy that experience. And well, you know what? Don't worry, your room is be full.
When I came across to Keller Williams in 2011, so I guess I've been here 14 years. The first mega camp I went to, I'm like, I want to be on that stage. And I've been asked to be on panels before, but I've declined because I didn't want, I wanted to be on mega camp. I didn't want to kind of, all I wanted to be was on mega camp, and James helped that happen. And now it's almost like, okay, now what? I've hit my goal. That was, I guess I think too small, but I hit that goal. I was on stage at mega camp. I wasn't nervous at all. I had a great time. My pivot family just cheered, and it was so heartwarming because it wasn't just one little pod right there. It was across the room. It was.
I was on the other side of the room too, screaming for you.
Well, that's exactly. I mean, like, it was so heartwarming, and now it's. I mean, like, I don't get stage fright. Maybe that's my theater school thing, but I don't get stage fright at all. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy performing. You know, what's the word? I have no qualms about being on stage. I enjoy that. I feel that, you know, the family reunion, and I'm looking at all the other great panels going, my God, I go to that, and that. And I'm hoping that the room just fills up, to be honest. But it is, it's an honor to be part of it. I'm honored and excited. And I enjoy sharing, you know, some of the things that we do. And back to what did you call it again?
A daytimer.
Daytimer.
So do you know why? And I said this the other day, but do you know why I hug you and Lee and tell you that you're the biggest pain in my ass that I love more than anything in the world? Do you know why I say that?
No.
Because at 6:30 in the morning, you get me up off of my daggum sofa, and because I cannot sit there and be on the stage of the clubhouse. I cannot sit down and do that.
Yeah.
When sometimes all I want to do is just sit there and snuggle with my puppy. You get me up off of there, and then you're kind enough to give me words of encouragement or challenges. And at 6:30 in the morning, to be challenged with some of the dialogues that you guys throw at me is like, or at us. And I know that, you know, I'm a tough and that I can handle it too, but some of this stuff is like, come on. Really want to kick you.
You got to look at the flip side of that. It's like, I'm like going, oh my God, what am I going to ask? And, you know, I am so humbled by the fact that we still have 200 plus people that get up every day. James has 1,000, but we're on 25% of that an hour earlier.
Yes.
James at least has, you know, all of the East Coast and the Middle Coast and whatever. I mean, it is so humbling that we just keep doing it because it's such a great community. And
it is.
Thank you to people like you who do come up. And because if you didn't, then we wouldn't have the reason to do that. We're not just going to listen to us. So
you're giving me a place to grow. I mean, and at 6:30 in the morning to go through the brain of like what to say to somebody is what. Yes. Cool. It gets me going. So I love it. I love you guys, and thank you for the good, big, swift kick in my rear end every morning. So
no, you are welcome. Thank you for being you and your shares and your generosity. And, you know, I mean, my cellar boxes that are in the Ellie Inn are inspired by you. So there's a lot to be said for what you've done for our community too. So
thank you. All right, love. I will see you next week.
Okay. Yes, can't wait. I'll see you then.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.